Hail trap. Good morning, good evening, good day, and good night. All that good stuff. Alrighty. There we go. Over. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. What kind? Question mark? I discovered the Truman Show existed with me. Bro, that movie's awesome. Yep. Yep. Old school Jim Carrey. I didn't watch the movie. It's a good movie. It was made in an era where movies had ideas, not ideas had movies. Alright. That's just something I forgot to do. Is when I mean, I just haven't gotten around to swapping the playlist in OBS, so because I can just what you can just put a file directory attached to your OBS and it'll just play all the music. So at one point I just had it pulling my entire life. Oh. It's not necessarily changes that need to happen. It's more just it needs to be mainstreamed so that people are like, oh, I actually get this at 3rd, I get this at 6th. Because the originals, you got like levels 1 through 3, you got a feature at 6, and then you got a feature at 8. It's like you got a bunch of features in a lot of different places. It's more I'm just making this more to kind of clean things up and to streamline it more into the 5.5 set. I may has answer. And then we need to put the 2024 stuff in. War, trickery. Oops. Life. If I get 50k points when I buy inspiration. Is that actually still there? No, I did get rid of it. Oh no, it's still there. Save it for the next run of games. That'd be my advice. Save it for the next run of games. Because it's intended for you to use it for games you're not involved in. But I'm planning to change a lot of the stuff on how the stream interacts with the future games. And that's gonna be yeah, there's gonna be a bunch of things that I'm gonna be doing with this. Because the games that we're currently in are kind of away from the stream at this point. So because, I was without the ability to stream for like a year and a half. I dumped so many inspirations. Fair enough. Alright, so what does Grave Cleric get? Obviously, first and foremost, they get domain. I am nothing but committed to the bit. I mean, fair. So, we get Bane. Lost life. I need to adjust this just a little bit so I can actually see what I'm typing. False. False life. Yeah, gentle. Hope. Base mode code. Like that. Ray of enfeeblement. Vivify. Vampire touch. Then we have light. Death ward. Anti-life shell. And raise. Grass, raise. Alright. I mean, I don't see a problem with these spells. I believe we have a version of all of these. 2024. The only one I'm under question of is. Nope. We got them all. Excellent. I need to check something here on the main cleric. It's spellcasting a divine order. You learn one extra cleric cantrip. Okay. And then you get to get a bonus to one of your 2 skills. Okay, so I don't need to worry about giving them a cantrip then. We can skip the spare the dying cantrip. I believe this is a cleric cantrip anyways. It is. Alrighty, Circle of Mortality. Ability to manipulate life and death. When you would normally roll 1 or more hit dice to restore hit points to a spell to a creature with 0 hit points, you instead use the highest possible number for each die. In addition, you learn spare dying cantrips and its range is 30 feet. This way. The spare the dying cantrip being buffed for the Grave Cleric is kind of inconsequential, considering that I have the 15-foot range by default now. And then the spell's range increases as you get in higher level. So yeah, Glaive Clerics don't really need this. However, this is just a fine feature no matter what. We keep this the same. The cantrip has effectively been moved to 1st level, so we don't need to worry about that. We also have Eyes of the Grave. Those things in natural life. As an action, you can open your awareness as a magical action. Awareness detect undead. Until the end of your next turn, you know the locations of any undead within 60 feet of you that isn't behind total cover and isn't protected from divination. This sense doesn't tell you anything about the creature's abilities, like capabilities or identity. You can use this feature a number of times equal to Wisdom modifier. You gain all expended uses from the creature. Most hysterical video today of one of the biggest Limbus YouTubers ranting on About how Arknight such invincible while the music was blasting in the back. I mean, listen, anyone that freaks out about saying like, oh, those egos are kind of nuts and it's dumb that they're gone, I kind of get it because they are kind of nuts and they are kind of gone. As a magic action, I'm okay with them having both of these. These are both. This is kind of like a nice tack on feature. Funny enough, it's because Maris was a mid villain and was tired of everyone. And you know what? Facts. I approve. I approve this statement. She wasn't anything particularly special. I didn't feel like the entire like Arknight's event, I guess it would be. I didn't feel like the writing was particularly inventive or particularly good. Like it wasn't bad. But like it's one of those things where I think it's very difficult. This is something that I think that a lot of people don't know or don't really understand. Is that it is very, very hard. Yeah, I might watch it later. It is very, very hard to take characters from existing stories and worlds and put them into other stories and worlds without running into a lot of fundamental problems. I think they, especially when you have active writing on both sides of the coin. So I understand like why it's not. I understand why it's not perfect and why a lot of collab writing is usually really bad. Like most people, from what I understand, most of the time when there's collab writings, it's like, oh, it's just fan servicey, in the sense of like it's here because people want it, not because it's necessarily good. Oh, I gotta turn this up just a little bit. Yeah. Oh man. All right. Oh, they also need level 3, which I believe is Path to the Grave for Channel Divinity. As a magic action, you can choose one creature you can see within 30 feet of you, cursing it until the end of your next turn. The next time you or an ally of yours... Oh, it's specifically you or an ally of yours hits the creature with an attack. Okay. Creature has vulnerability to all that attack's damage, and then the curse ends. Gosh, you guys are gonna be... Oh... You guys have such a dangerous wombo combo because you have a Wizard Grave Cleric in your party. That you have access to 6th level spellcasting. And Divination Wizard at that. Actually, I'm genuinely curious. Let's look this up. How much damage does Disintegrate do? 10d6 plus 40. Little quick math here. Okay, so which is 5 times 7 or 35, so 35 plus 40 is 75. X2 75 X2 is 150. And then if we add a crit, because you have a pocket 20, for example, that's dice times 2, so that's another so that would be another 150 plus 35. Or plus 35. X2, which is 70 plus 150, 220 damage. Okay, cool. For a simple use of Channel Divinity and Disintegration, you too can destroy your enemies. That is gross. That's average damage. Fuck. That is so gross. Like, you literally just vape. Like, you can actually just vaporize something. Grave Cleric requires very little change, which is good. 6. Okay. At level 6, you get the ability to impede death's presence. As a reaction, when you or a creature you see within 30 of you suffers a critical hit, you can turn that critical hit into a normal hit. Any effects triggering the critical hit are cancelled. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your wisdom modifier. You know, expanding use. I feel like this should be a Channel Divinity. Considering how much you get, considering how much uses, like, you start with 2 uses of Channel Divinity and you get a third at level 6. Like, I feel as though you should get, like, Path to the Grave should be a once per... like once per day, or like once per short or long rest kind of thing, then no, Sentinel at the Door should be like a once per day thing. You don't get to like just keep canceling crits, because that's crazy. Because like the thing is, I think about it this way, right? If the odds of you rolling a crit is 1 in 5, or sorry, is 1 in 20, and by level 6 you're gonna have +5. If you don't have +5, you have +4 for sure. You're gonna have +5 by level 8. Then they have to roll a 24. Like the GM specifically has to roll a 20 4 times, wait, 5 times, in order to get 1 crit in. And by the way, that's only on the offense, not on defense. So it's actually higher than that. But even so, 4 times 20 is 80. I have to make 100 rolls on average to get a crit inside of one long rest. Yeah, like the 30 feet is the only thing making it like fair. I'm gonna change this a little bit. Any effects triggered by the critical hit cancel. I'm gonna expand the range of this. Oops. I'm gonna expand the range of this. Make this more usable. Because killing a crit, especially considering because killing a crit is very powerful. Very powerful. Cannot again. Short or long rest, because being any closer to the boss, the GM is gonna fucking focus fire you just because grave clerics are that dangerous. I know I would. Well, it's not even just grave clerics; it's clerics in general, because the cleric is the thing that's keeping your party functioning, right? You target spellcasters first because they're the one that have the swing states, like they have the ability to swing the fight. Whereas fighters and barbarians don't tend to have the means to swing the fight. They're the sustained problem. Why is my standby? For some reason, my alarms were going off on my phone. But yeah, generally speaking, you want to focus down spellcasters because 2 reasons. One, they have more potent abilities than non-spellcasters, as in they will be able to swing the fight. And 2, they tend to be a lot more killable. The problem is usually there's a meat wall called a barbarian in your way. Once you've used this feature, you can no longer use it again. Once you've used this feature, you can use this feature again by expending a use of your channel divinity. It's a little bit outside the standard practice. Just existing. Yeah, like, well, the paladin is the ultimate defender, right? Because they have the durability, because they have the AC. They have all the defenses except the absurd hit points, right? They don't have absurd hit points. The barbarian has absurd hit points. Your channel divinity. Once you have used this feature, you cannot use it again until you finish a short or long rest. I think this is a better... I think this is the healthier change. You make it more usable. You have a resource that you can expend for it. So if you want to be a sentinel at death's door, you gotta use up an option for Path of the Grave. For, for 1,000 years I lay dormant. Also, hello. Greetings. Princess Brawhammer. I know this is not the first time that you've been here, but I don't remember you, unfortunately. But that is an amazing name. Having both a paladin and a barbarian is... I'm trying to break down a wall of bricks with 2 picks. Gotta. Yeah. My advice: throw more toothpicks at the mess. Cheers, Nano. Have yourself a good day. Came from a prank I played once. You know what? Sounds like a college dorm. At that point, it sounds like a college dorm name. That is amazing. I won't ask you to tell the story, but I won't say no if you tell it. Alrighty. And what is the last thing that the Raid Cleric gets? Level 17. Keeper of Souls. When an enemy you can see dies within 60 feet of you, you or one creature of your choice that is within 60 feet gains hit points equal to the enemy's number of hit dice. You can use this feature only if you are incapacitated. Once you use it, you can do save until the start of your turn. Okay, so this is a good ability. However, we need to change this because this is bad. Design inside of the 5e dynamic. So let's see here. References. Bestiary. Or no. I want to open it. There we go. Let's see here. Hello? Lord, please. Is it not, why is you not loading? Alright, whatever. Oh, jeez, okay. Alright. So I used to work at Victoria's Secret and was besties with this couple. The guy came to me one day, asked me for a gift idea for his girlfriend. I told him to get her a bra hammer, saying that we use them at work to soften the inner cups of bras. I told her to bring in one. A practical gift. She loved it. So later I get a call from News asking her why her boyfriend had given her a meat tenderizer as a present and was trying to explain bras to her. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's the headlight fluid equivalent. That's amazing. Oh man. Ain't nothing like sending somebody into the auto parts store to tell them to go get some elbow grease and some headlight fluid. All right, let's check like level, like CR level like 18 plus mod. Ancient Deep Dragon. 20 hit dice. Or 13 hit dice. 26 hit dice. 20 hit dice. 35 hit dice. Go beyond the Archhag, 29 hit dice. Okay. I once told that story to another streamer and they asked about the name and he goes, but did he like the Brawhammer though? I mean, you know what? Valid question. Valid question. Just throwing that out there. If they didn't already have a meat tenderizer, they do now have a meat tenderizer, which is useful. I think I'm gonna change it to regain a number of hit points equal to twice your level. You can use this feature only if you once you use it, you can't do so again until the start of the next turn. Yeah. I think this is technically better, but the big thing with this is that it's more consistent. Because I know that a lot of people, when they go making monsters for their own table, they're not thinking about hit dice. So I think this is actually slightly less practical. This also makes it so that the game doesn't slow down. On average, this is technically better. It does give you a little bit more health, technically speaking. But it's neither here nor there. I'm trying to think if I've ever played a prank on somebody that actually paid out as well as that one did, or anywhere near as good as that. I don't think so. Like, I had a roommate that tried to prank me a bunch, but it never worked because he'd always try to do it like on April Fools and stuff like that. It's just like, buddy, predictable. All right. Next up is knowledge domain. Oh no, wait, we have one for knowledge domain. It's in Heroes of Faerun. Did we get more than one from Heroes of Faerun for domains? I don't think we did. I think we only got the knowledge domain. Heroes of Faerun. Yeah. Okay. I actually haven't looked at knowledge domain yet. I should look at that one. What did they do to the knowledge domain? Let's have a little looky look. All clerics about gods gain. People mess up pranks because they try to force them in, and the strangeness of the situation tips people off. Good prank has to be emerged from a natural opportunity that didn't. Yeah, that's true. Actually, I've got one. It wasn't a prank, but it is actually very much that, because so I went to college for music, and I actually, by happenstance, where I work now, one of the guys that I went to college with ended up working at the same place. Now we don't work in music, we work in regulated waste. So what happened was, one of my coworkers asked me, "Hey, what do you think the new guy's name is?" Because our boss is bringing him into the area. So I just looked at him like, I don't know, and I gave him his name, and he has one of those names that's like, it could be his name, but you don't. But it's like, it's not a common name, but you're like, that's a good guess. That's like, it almost like I'm playing on like the joke that he's kind of playing. And then and then of course the boss and the other guy come over and say, and he's like, "Hey, so this is so and so," and he just like looked at me. He's like, "You played me." Just, it's a very short-winded opportunity. I'm like, you asked me what I thought his name was. I'm like, I can't turn that down. So you should have bet him $5. I said, yeah, I would have given it back to him. Blessing of knowledge. Arts and tools of your choice. 2 of the following skills: Arcana, Nature, History, or Religion. You have expertise in these 2 skills. You get 2 expertise skills. And an artisan tool set. Okay, so you get... So this is actually not... I understand, like, this is not terrible. You get 5.5 a shot. I've been running a lot of Mage the Ascension lately and craving something a little more down to earth. I have not taken a good look at Age the Ascension. What's that system particularly good at? Like, what's that one particularly good at doing? Because 5e is really good at, like... 5e is good at fighting monsters. Like, that's all it's really good at. And even then, I question its actual, like... You know what? No. That's actually doing it a disservice. That's incorrect. 5e is really, really good at convincing you that it is an approachable, simple system with enough depth to make you think, but it's really just scratching the surface. Because it barely, in my opinion, it barely does fighting monsters well. Mostly because I feel like there's a lot of like balance issues that a lot of 5th edition and 5.5 for that matter, a lot of the things that they do is they just kind of say, the GM will figure it out. They do it for the sake of simplicity. And I'm not a big fan of it, personally. I've grown to dislike it over the years. There is the domain spells, which it gets more domain spells. Being a WOD mage in a generalist setting on the back end, but it's specifically designed. Speciality is definitively. Players can very much define their own spells and powers set in ways no other system really allows for, in my experience. Okay, that's cool. So it's a bit more of like a custom, like not fully, but it's a bit more of a Build-A-Bear kind of style system. So the domain cleric gets 3 spells. 3 domain spells per spell level instead of 2. Okay. Gets expertise. Is an extra spell every other level? 2 expertise in int-based skills and gaining an artisan tool. Is that worth a single class feature? That's, I don't know. That's pretty good, I guess, because you get command, comprehend language, detect magic, detect thoughts, identify mind spike, dispel magic, non-detection, tongues, arcane eye, banishment, confusion, legend lore, scrying, synaptic static. I mean, these aren't bad spells. As a magic item, you spend one use channel divinity to manifest your magical knowledge. Choose one spell from the Divination School of Knowledge domain spell table that you have prepared. As part of that action, you can cast a spell expending a spell slot or needing material. Okay, so you can legend lore for free. Yeah, and scrying for free is actually pretty huge. Not needing a material component for scrying is pretty good. I don't know. This feels very meh. What does knowledge get at 6? You gain telepathy out to 60 feet. When you use the telepathy, you can simultaneously contact a number of creatures, including a wisdom modifier. Additionally, you gain proficiency in intelligence saving throws. If you already have the ability to gain it, proficiency if it looks at you. Okay, that's pretty good. And then 17. Imagine you spend your mind in the future as a bonus action for 1 hour. You have advantage on D20 tests. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again. For an hour, you have advantage. Oh, jeez. You can't use this again to finish a long rest. You can also restore use of this feature by expending a 6th level slot for no actual fight. Okay, that's insanely good. That's definitely high value. You get what is effectively a 9th level spell feature once per day, and you can use it by expending a 9th level spell or a 6th level spell slot after you've used it once. That's really good. So it's very late game loaded. Knowledge Cleric is good if you have a low skill party, but that doesn't really exist anymore. They kind of botched the skill system entirely, so. Okay, nature. I'm actually gonna turn off the 2024 stuff so that it's easier for me to read. Oh, we can get rid of this. Brave domain. Okay. This. Nature has. We have. Gonna make sure we actually. Yeah, okay. Alright, I'm gonna grab more coffee, gonna do a quick ad, be right back. Oh, excellent. Ads are done. Alrighty. We have returned. Okay, so those that we have animal friendship, speak with animals, barkskin, yeah, okay. And spike growth, and then we have lance growth, and wind wall. Eliminate beast. Dominate beast. Grasping vines. Insect plague. Tree stride. Okay. The light of nature. Learn one druid cantrip. This cantrip doesn't cost him. Okay. Two yell scheme. Skills. Simply creatures with 30 you take acid. Yeah, actually, great resistance to each creature's. I wasn't there. No, that was a druid that they did a bunch of changes to like this. So, well, let's start with what we have. Let's start with what we got. We got Channel Divinity as a magic action. You present holy so invoke the name of your deity. Your Channel Divinity. Each beast or plant you can see within 30 feet of you must make a wisdom saving throw. If the creature fails a saving throw, it is charmed by you for the next minute or until it takes damage. While it is charmed by you, it is friendly to you and other creatures you designate. Of your choice. Alright, so that's fine as a Channel Divinity. It's not great, but it's fine. Okay. This is the Druid Cleric. Plain and simple. Now, they gain some skills. We could do the same approach that the Knowledge Domain, which is give them, which the equivalent of this is 2 expertise and a tool set. And an additional spell per spell level. Nature needs some major upgrades. cantrips do clerics normally get? 2, 3. They'll have 4 by next level, and they'll have a 5th one if they took the bonus cantrip. Although this one is supposed to be this one is generally designated to have heavy armor. Interesting. So that's the other thing. So they're really valuing the heavy armor here. So we don't have to worry about the heavy armor things. We need to just generate a new 3rd level feature for this cleric. Level 6 is Dampen Elements. Starting at 6th level. When you are a creature within 30 feet who takes acid, cold, fire, or lightning damage, lightning or thunder damage, you can use your reaction to gain resistance to grant resistance to the creature against that instance of damage. Okay, we're gonna change this because other subclasses get some pretty wild stuff. It takes acid, cold, fire, lightning, or thunder damage. You can use your reaction to resist that creature against that damage type. The end of your next turn. You get this high frequency. You get this round by round. You have to be relatively close. You have to use it. You have to constantly use your reaction. You don't have other reactions, which I don't think the cleric generally gets a lot of reactions. But I think this is going to be pretty good. All right, and what do they get at 17? Master of Nature. You gain the ability to command animals and plants. When creatures are charmed by your charm animals and plants feature, you can take a bonus action on your turn to verbally command each of those creatures will do on their next turn. Okay. This needs to have like cleaner phrasing. Next feature, you can take a bonus action. You may, as a bonus action on your turn, verbally command what each of these creatures do. What each of those creatures do on its next turn. I need to dominate beast. All right, we're gonna copy this. We're gonna take same existence on your turn. Issue each of those creatures, such as each of those creatures with commands such as attack that creature, move over there, or fetch that object. The target does its best to obey on its turn. If it completes the order and doesn't receive further orders from you, it acts and moves as it likes, focusing on protecting it. Just use the same language as the dominates. You get dominate beasts and dominate plants as part of your charm animals. I think that's okay. I think it's situational. I don't think it's insanely good. I think it could use a little help. But I don't have another but I don't have anything else to work with. So this is kind of like what we're working with already. Level 3 needs some major help. Like major help. And I don't know what to do. Because, like, do I just go and look for a feature and just scoop it up? That feels cheap. You know what I mean? Like, that just feels cheap. You shouldn't do that. So, like, we need to give them something naturey, maybe elemental. Not elemental, not elements. Like, even though the dampen elements is there, I think that we should be going for something more, not necessarily animal or plant based, but like we could go like elements based, as in like weather. Maybe. Well, originally they gained skills and proficiency in heavy armor. Do we just give them the artisan tools and then their choice of animal handling, nature, survival, and or expertise in 2 of, and just call it a day? That feels like a scam though, because it's like the same benefit that knowledge clerics get. Now it's a different skill set, or like different set of skills, but it works. I think I can give them the druid cantrip. That's mostly inconsequential. Well, I shouldn't say that. If a cleric goes like the war priest style, where they have the martial, like the heavy armor and the martial weapons, you give them shillelagh. They're just they go the shillelagh route. They just start bonking. The shillelagh is awesome. We'll just give them Acolyte of Nature for now. I don't really have a better solution for the time being. We're gonna change it. I don't have a better solution. You learn 1 druid cantrip of your choice. This doesn't count towards against the number of cantrips you know. You also gain expertise. In 2 the following skills of your choice: animal handling, nature, or survival. There's gotta be another skill. that we can add to this list. Medicine maybe. Animal handling, acrobatics, arcana, athletics, deception, intimidation, investigation, medicine, nature, perception, performance, persuasion, stealth, and survival. We have animal handling, nature, survival. So we could make an argument for perception or athletics. I kind of like athletics on. Just a fit cleric. Yeah, let's do athletics. But we still need more. Like, this is still less good than what the knowledge domain cleric gets, and the knowledge domain cleric, in my opinion, is not actually that at level 3. Like, part of the big thing that they were banking on before is the armor proficiency, but you can get that at level 1 now. Or still get that level 1, but it's not tied to your domain. I don't want to do the third domain spell route. It feels too samey. I don't want to do when you cast a druid spell, because that doesn't work very well. I want to give them something that actually feels cool. I don't know. We need something else in there. I'm gonna just do this for now. I don't really have a better idea at this time. All right, order domain. Let's have a little look at the order domain. Order domain. Is that Humblewood? No, it is Humblewood. Alright. Get the following domain spells as a order cleric. Command and Terror. Heroism. You also receive Hold Person. And Zone of Truth. Let's see. 5, you get Mass Healing Word. Pretty good spell. And Slow. A very good spell. 7th level, you get Compulsion. Is that in? And locate. Creature. Immune. And dominate. Oh. gain bonus proficiencies with heavy armor. Also gain proficiency on the intimidation or persuasion skill. First level, you can invoke power of law. If you cast a spell with spell slot first level or higher, target an ally with the spell, that ally can use their reaction immediately after the spell to make one weapon attack against a creature that they can see. This is crazy. That's incredibly good. Being able to just activate attack rolls, like like you cast a spell on the rogue, and the rogue gets an opportunity to do sneak attack again. This is insanely good. Their channel divinity. Percent of your creature with each creature with you can see within 30 feet of you must succeed. Of your choice, wisdom saving throw will be charmed by you until the end of your next turn, or until the charmed creature takes any damage. You can also cause any of the charmed creatures to drop what they are holding when they fail the saving throw. That's fun. Totally simple. Your affinity. There we go. Simple enough. And this is what is this one? This is orders of demand. Orders demand. That's fine as this. Embodiment of law. If you cast a spell of the enchantment school using a spell slot first level higher, you can change the spell's casting time to one bonus action for its cast. By the spell's caster's time is normally one action. Feature a number of times off by your being. Okay. Let's do a little quick search on this. Okay. Spells. Let's add some filters to this. So for the cleric, also I do want to point out, let's see here. Command is enchantment, heroism is enchantment, old person, zone of truth are all enchantment. Masculine word and slow are not. Compulsion is enchantment, locate objects of divination, community divination, dominate person is enchantment. So your domain spells are pretty enchantment heavy as is. Let's add school enchantment only. How about that? Clerics don't have a particularly long list of enchantment spells. We have power word heal, power word fortify, yes, at level 5. And then at level 3, we have nothing. At levels 3 and 4, we have nothing. We have acquisition incorporated spells, technically. That's not good. Those don't count. We then have Zone of Truth, Hold Person, and Common Potions of second level, which we already have 2 of those for free. And then at first level, we have Command, Bless, Bane. So this is... This is useful. I don't think we need the limitation of the wisdom model. because we already have the limitations of like spell slots and things of that nature. Like spell slots, you can't cast more than one leveled spell in a turn. There's all kinds of other things that are working against this already that we don't really need to add a number of times equal to your wisdom modifier, because you're probably not going to actually use all of them. And even so, like, the benefit is not that crazy, because all it means is that you get to either make an attack, or you get to cast a cantrip, or use an item. Granted, using an item is really good, because there's some very good items, but those are circumstantial aspects, and I don't think that's a good enough reason to put that in there. So we're just gonna do that. You just get the feature. You could just do that. Your enchantment spells that take one action to cast now require a bonus. That's it. Considering how powerful some of these 6th level features are, I think that's fine. 17 orders wrath. Enemies designated for destruction or divine effect of you and your allies. If you deal your divine strike damage. Okay, we need to address that. To a creature on your turn, you can curse the creature until the start of your next turn. The next time one of your allies hits a creature with an attack, the target also takes 2d8 psychic damage, and the curse ends. You can curse a creature this way only once per turn. Okay, so this feature is awesome. This feature is really, really cool. The problem is that they've changed the design. For clerics overall. So this would be where is, it's not divine strike, it's blessed strikes. There we go. Blessed strikes damage. So this way you either get the divine strike benefit, or which is which is either you get the bonus d8 necrotic radiant damage, or you add your wisdom modifier to damage you deal with cleric cantrips. This, and then this basically adds 2d8 psychic damage to your basic attack, to like your baseline attack. So this means that your cantrips now deal, instead of dealing 3 or 4d8 at this point, they now do effectively 6d8. And then if you use, and then on top of that, you get your plus your wisdom modifier, and then you get to get temporary hit points equal to twice your wisdom modifier, so 10. And if you use your weapon, you deal weapon damage plus 2d8 damage plus 2d8. So 4d8 plus weapon, which is probably going to be a d8 weapon most of the time. D8 weapon plus strength is 4-ish, 3 or 4. I mean, that's pretty good for a melee strike. And of course, like, assuming that you don't have any magical weapon, which, if you're going for that melee weapon build, then yeah. Also, it's not necessarily melee weapon, so you could definitely be like a bow cleric with this. This is fine. I don't like. There's some minor wording changes. This should be per round. Oh, wait. I think this is meant to be per round, not per turn, so that you can't get the opportunity attack benefits out of it. There's a really nasty wombo combo you can do with this though, which is you can cast a cantrip to hit somebody, like deal damage with a cantrip, or just make a ranged attack. Deal damage to them, curse them, cast bless on your teammates. Now, like, wait around, cast bless on your teammates, and now, and then they can immediately, with the bless, attack the creature that has the curse on them. So you can just deal a ton of damage. Get like the 1, 2, 3. The boom bang, if you boom fate bang. Pop fate bang. Yeah, this is fine. I don't see a problem with this. Peace. Alrighty, the peace domain is probably also going to be relatively good, because this is also a Tasha. I believe it's Tasha's. Yeah. Tasha's domains are usually pretty good. Alrighty. One moment, please. Be right back. Alrighty. Do it. Alright. Let's see. Okay, where were we? Domain spells for the Heroism. Sanctuary. Aid. Boarding. Beacon of Hope. Spending. Or protection, or purity. Resilient sphere. Nope. Hold on. I can never. There we go. Absolute sphere. Greater restoration. And Rayleigh's telepathic. All right. Type in a piece, you gain a skill. Okay. Embodying bond. This feature is nuts. Embodying bond. All right, you can forego an empowering bond. You can forge an empowering bond among people that are at peace with one another. Let's just get rid of that. Next one. Fair enough. Is a magic action. You can choose a number of willing creatures you can see within 30 feet of you. This can include yourself. Equal to your proficiency bonus. We have a magical bond among them for 10 minutes or until you use it again, while any bonded creature is within 30 feet of another creature. Is within 30 feet of another, the creature can roll a d4 and add the number rolled to attack roll, ability check, or saving throw. Each creature can add the d4 no more than once per turn. You can use this feature a number of times equal to proficiency bonus, and you gain ultimate use to visual long rest. Wisdom. Modify. Go to your wisdom modifier. Equal to your wisdom modifier. Otherwise, this just stays the same. The skill is inconsequential to this benefit. Alright, Balm of Peace. You can use your presence. As an action, you can move up to your speed without provoking an after text, and when you in 5 feet of any other creature during this action, you can restore a number of hit points to that creature equal to 2d6 plus your wisdom modifier. The creature can receive this healing only once per turn whenever you take this action. Hey, guess what? We can't use this. Because we already have Divine Spark. Don't we? Yeah. Also, 2d6 plus wisdom modifier is... Granted, this is technically... Hold on. You can move up to your speed without provoking an opportunity attack. And when you move within 5 feet of any other creature during this action, you can restore a number of hit points to that creature equal to 2d6 plus your wisdom mod. A creature can receive this healing only once whenever you... See, the way that this is phrased is... I feel as though this was meant to be a single target heal. But the way that it's phrased implies that you could just run past your entire team and heal everybody for 2d6 plus wisdom. Also, another thing. It's not necessarily clear either for emboldening bond as to where the D4 as to how often you can use the D4s. Because the way that it's phrased implies that you can create the bond a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, or in this case, wisdom bonus. But I wouldn't be surprised if you're intended to only be able to use the D4s a number of times equal to the modifier. Because otherwise, it's just bless on steroids. Well, budget bless. No matter. But we do need a new channel ability this class, because or subclass, because that ain't gonna do it. That's not gonna be a lot. Protective bond. When a creature affected by your emboldening bond is about to take damage, a second bonded creature within 30 feet of you can first use its reaction to teleport to an unoccupied space within 5 feet of the creature. The second creature then takes all the damage instead. This is fine. I think this is perfectly fine. I see no reason to change that. That is a very, very useful feature. Level 17. Oop. This is expansive. If it's your bowling bond, a protective bond, Features now work when creatures are within 60 feet of each other. Moreover, when a creature uses Protective Bond, it takes someone's damage, so the creature has resistance to that damage. Yep. I think that's perfectly reasonable. But yes, the only thing we need is a new channel divinity. I don't want to make it a benefit to the Divine Spark. Is that what it's called? Divine Spark? Divine Spark. I don't want to buff Divine Spark. Bad way of doing it. I don't want to make this just an AoE heal, because like, I don't. This needs to not be competing with Divine Spark, because Divine Spark is like the heal harm ability with Cleric. So it's one of those things like, blah, blah, blah. It's actually wild. Divine Spark is actually less good than a cantrip a lot of the time. I think it's a slightly better cantrip at levels 1 through 4. It's behind for the next 2 levels. It's better, technically speaking, from 7 to 9. 7 and 8. Then 9, and then the cantrip's there at 9 until 13. So the cantrip is just straight better for the rest of the game until 18. That's so weird. I don't know what the design idea is for the Divine Spark. This is weird to me. I honestly feel like you could have made this 2d8 plus your modifier, and it would have been fine. And then increase it by 1d8 for every step after that. I don't know. Maybe I'm just crazy. I don't want to make this just granting Shield of Faith to everybody, although that might not be a bad option, because the War Priest gets to do that already. Or the War Cleric, excuse me. Though they only target a single creature, but still. They don't end up not having to concentrate on it. Do I don't know. Let me think here. Maybe I can come up with a weird idea. Let me think here. Let me do a little bit of digging on some previous stuff. Having some ideas here. Hold. I got an idea. These two balance. Want the openings. Phrase using. There we go. As a magic, you can actually put your holy symbol at another creature within 30 feet of yourself. Both you and that creature cannot gain not gain advantage or not gain advantage or have disadvantage when affecting each other. When affecting the two. Simple as that, but against each other. If you would have advantage on a roll on a D20 test. On a D20 test, we give it to another creature of your choice. This benefit must be used on the next roll they make. The next D20 roll test they make. So it's like a weird, it's like a kind of like a weird silvery barb. It's like a proactive silvery barb. Basically, if you're in a really bad spot, really good for that reason. It also keeps it from being able to be exploited on the barbarian in this way. So if you would have advantage because of some sort of circumstance or benefit that you would have, you can give that to somebody else. The big thing here is it disables disadvantage. If you would normally have disadvantage, for example, if you're poisoned against a creature, this lets you ignore that. And if they would normally have advantage against you because you're poisoned, they lose that. That's where this like really shines. for the next minute. Yeah. If you would have advantage or disadvantage on a D20 test, you may give advantage to another creature of your choice. Advantage to another creature. Actually, no. You may give it to another creature of your choice. This bit must be this effect of the effect. This effect must be used on the next D20 test they make. So basically, if you're disadvantage stricken, you can just keep applying disadvantage to a creature and give it, and that isn't going to be targeting you. And it's very, very good. You can also just throw it at as long as you're not affecting it. This probably needs some. This probably needs some. I should go through all these actually and green what I have changed. For the most part, they are mostly the same. Yeah, it's fine. Okay, we have this pretty much taken care of for the most part. We have 2 left, which is Tempest and Twilight. I don't have enough time to go through another one of these. I don't think so. We'll just make the pages real quick. Ah. All right. Tempest Domain. Make all these now so that they're done. Then we just move them all into here. Look. Travel domain, domain, domain. Okay. Note to self: make a Earth domain or a Terra domain. Terra would be cooler. It's a cooler name. Because we don't really have anything for that. Oh boy. Or rock and stone. Yeah, because I need to make sure that dream, fate, love, travel, water, and wealth all get. Oh, that's what I should do. We're just gonna do this. Oops. Add the published flag. There we go. Does this have the published flag? It does. I'm gonna add the published flags. Is the dream domain fixed? Dream domain looks like I finished it. I have to reformat it. Oh my gosh, come on. Alrighty. Yeah, I did have this one basically solved and dealt with. Awesome. And then I don't have any of the other ones done, I don't think. Like, at all. Yeah, no. The summoner, do I have, how bad is the summoner thing? I don't think I have it. Yeah, it's not done. It is nowhere near. This is like a bunch of old stuff slapped together. Yeah, this is not good. Okay. I was very happy I found the green highlighting though. I also kind of appreciate how it just gets progressively more green the further along you go with this. And then when you look at changes to this class got massively changed at level 7 and 11 for subclass. I did add Beastmaster spells and everybody did get these, but Bay Wanderer got a minor change at level 3. This is actually a bigger change than the text would imply. And so is this. Like, the actual changes are not very big, but the implications are actually pretty hefty. Because it lets them scale. Gloomstalker got a bit of a change at level 3. Or not level 3. Got a change of to Shadow of Moil for level 3. And then it got a change at level 11. I'm going to color text that. Make it 15 feet instead of 10 feet. And then Shadow Dodge, I think slightly better. And then the Hunter, I believe, got a pretty hefty set of changes. They got spellcasting, and then at 11 and 15, they got pretty significant changes. Yep. Okay. Publish multiple notes. Like 8 notes published. Awesome. Alrighty, so I'm going to call it here. Thank you very much, everybody, for swinging by. I appreciate you for doing so. I'm probably going to do the Tempest and the Twilight domains either tomorrow morning or on my own time. Those ones are pretty good on their own, so they don't really require a lot of changes, probably. So I'm going to leave those as is, and then we're going to get into creating our own domains. I have ideas from before, so converting them over shouldn't be too difficult, but probably requires some number adjustments and things like that. So once again, thank you everybody for swinging by. Appreciate you for doing so. And yeah, until next time, have a good day. Good guys.